New mods await as I return to the world of Minecraft in today's entry, joined by fellow mod researcher and showcaser, Enderverse.
Thank you, creatures. It is an honor of mine to enter the Hobbit Lab. I'm looking forward to this research, and I am positive that the discoveries here will be cutting edge.
Indeed, we have both gathered our findings on a range of mods, specifically mods that are too small to be fully covered, that will be archived for future research and possible experimentation. Time to discover some small mods.
Trajectory estimation is a mod that will add a visual display of the arrow's track. This estimation isn't always accurate. For entities far away, you may want to aim a little higher than what the line is displaying. For the inaccuracy and the absence of any aim assistance, I would not say this mod is a cheat, or that would even get you in trouble if used on public servers. But what do you think, creatures? Also, while at it, is this trajectory estimation visible on other projectiles too?
It is indeed, Enderverse. Based off my tests, it appears this trajectory estimation applies to not just bows and tridents, but to most of the game's throwable items. Whilst it may serve as a guide for projectile items, it is hard to determine if this will be considered as a form of assistance for public servers, even if it's client-side. Our next mod discovery, Sacks, alleviates a common issue with early game inventory management. This mod introduces a sack, a portable storage block like the shulker box, easing the transportation of blocks within the early game. From your research, Enderverse, what other properties do these sacks have?
Point your description right there. Let me also add that the sack's inventory will be lighter than the shulker boxes. This way they remain an early game item, instead of being very large as to make shulker boxes obsolete. Just a slingshot will add a fun new tool that you could use to hunt small creatures like birds or to antagonize villagers, which I would not recommend. To use the mod, you will need to have a pouch on your offhand. You could fill it up with pebbles, which will deal minimal damage. Or if you are crazy, you could put fireballs in there and get yourself a rocket launcher. Hey creatures, are there any ways we could get this tool in survival? Also, if this slingshot is capable of shooting things like fireballs, surely it would be able to shoot other unconventional projectiles, am I right?
Fortunately, the slingshot is craftable in survival Enderverse, and is a rather accessible weapon to acquire in the early game, so long as there's a bountiful supply of leather nearby. Although it may seem like a primitive weapon, the slingshot accepts an assortment of items and oddities for ammunition. Bricks, ingots, seeds, gems, and plenty more I've yet to test out, work to keeping these mobs back. As well as being a rocket launcher from your experiments, the slingshot could also be a portable teleporter if using enderpearls, making it a more reliable tool to cover ground quickly than throwing them manually. No doubt this slingshot will be the best option to those wanting to clear their pufferfish or poisonous potato reserves they've accumulated over their game time. Adding an element of surprise to the pots of Minecraft, suspicious pots make small mobs have a chance to burst forth from a smashed pot. My initial analysis suggests that few mobs reside within decorated pots, but the mod is configurable to increase the odds of finding more. From your research, Enderverse, what small critters have you found lurking within these pots?
Well, I certainly could not find you in any of them. Anyways, as I was cracking the pots, I had times where I found harmless creatures like the bats. Other times, the experience wasn't as pleasant, having an empty creature jump at me. But, all in all, this mod can make you think twice before smashing a pot.
Our next mod discovery, One's Ancient Beasts, introduces 3 prehistoric-like mobs to find and reawaken. Like the Sniffer, these creatures appear to not spawn naturally, with their remains buried in some ancient structures that have emerged across the world. Enderverse and I have travelled to one of these sites in the Badlands. Let's investigate to see what's inside. Alongside other treasures and possible dangers, the beast's egg is rumoured to be concealed somewhere within the structure. thorough excavation will be required to determine the true whereabouts of the beast's egg. As we search the structure, Enderverse has already discovered one of the beast's eggs from a different corner of the world. May you share some insight on this particular beast you've discovered?
Certainly. The egg we found has been studied and it was concluded to belong to a species of dinosaurs called Walker. Let's now give it time to warm and hatch. While it was hatching, me and creatures have been working day and night to discover the proper diet for the Walker. We found out that Azalea and Spore Blossom match well with the nature of this creature. As you can see, the Walker is already familiarized with me and creatures, so why not give him more time to grow? Oh dear lord, I knew it would be tall, but to this extent? A neck as long as a building, back horn the size of a man, 6 legs. Oh lord. Hey buddy, do you remember us? Well, it seems it did. The Walker is capable of carrying 4 players. That's why there was enough space for me and creatures, plus 2 more. The Walker, it seems, is a great reptile to cruise the large and mountainous areas, as it can skip blocks easily, and with its extensive passenger seats, it can be perfect for tribal adventures. The other beasts are left undiscovered, so why not carry out the research, my friend? You got it.
Beginning or returning to Minecraft Sandbox could at times be overwhelming, but thanks to Lexicon, this mod will no doubt prove valuable to those wanting to familiarize themselves with the game. This Lexicon appears to condense all the game's knowledge into its pages, from learning to survive the first night to viewing crafting recipes of the world's items and blocks. I hear your study on this Enderverse has yielded some interesting information. May you share what you've discovered about the Lexicon?
Well, what can I say? I was not ready for such a mod. Back in the day, I would need to watch and follow through a long building tutorial or redstone contraption guide. With Lexicon, you could literally visualize the structure or machine in-game. After that, there would be a bar showing you which block is left. Apart from that, this book should be with you 24/7, period. Anything you will ever need to know is within it, and it's not a systemized guide. Instead, it is written by a fellow Minecraft player. Cave Stuff presents itself as a third update for the caves in Minecraft. The mod included a new biome decorated with different types of vegetations and rocks, along with an abundant structure featuring many small water insects. This was only a general description of the mod. Creatures here has done more research on it. What were your findings, mate?
Your findings match the same analysis I've conducted, Enderverse. Cave Stuff's new biome is the primary place to discover the mod's additions, posing both opportunities and threats when adventuring in this biome. Other aspects of Cave Stuff can be seen across the rest of Minecraft's underground caverns. Mushrooms, strange creatures, structures, and many utilities awaits those who delve into this mod. Since the Caves and Cliffs update, Minecraft's mountains tower above in splendor. But this mod discovery, Stony Cliffs Are Cool, improves upon the mountains even further with a simple change, resulting in more appealing mountains. I myself have remained in my studies for far too long to conduct a proper assessment on these mountains. Fortunately, Enderverse has spent some time in the field studying this effect for himself. What results does your excursion reveal?
Terrific discovery, creatures. I thought I knew every world generation mod there is, but you've managed to surprise me on this one. As I said, I've seen too many terrain generation mods, but this one is by far the simplest. The Stony Cliffs are indeed cool, and bear superior resemblance to real-life cliffs in case you've ever been outside. This mod is compatible with other world generation mods, so feel free to install it alongside your favorite mod.
Biome Particle Weather upgrades the existing weather particles to be new and varied. For starters, the vanilla rain and snow particle systems have been revamped to be both less obtrusive and yet distinct, especially when studying their changes between rain and thunderstorms. Other biomes additionally generate their own weather patterns during such conditions, reflective of the biome's environment and climate. I've also heard reports of this affecting biomes outside the overworld. Enderverse, do you have any findings confirming this?
Sure thing, creatures. The Nether Wither has been a recent update for the mod. It featured these heat particles that levitate. Souls can also be seen escaping the sands. This is a phenomenon naturally present within soul sand biomes. Biome Particle Wither has been my default wither option when showcasing any mod, so it is definitely one to stick with. Lewine's third person is a new competitor in the prescriptive enhancement category. The supply is far below the demand here, so the more of these mods the better. This mod is renowned for its smoothness. You can switch from side to side, adjust many aspects about the prescriptive, and move freely to any corner. All of these features are changed with immense flexibility. Creatures, do you think this mod is advantageous? I mean, would it get people in trouble on public servers? Also, tell us what features about the mod I may have missed.
It certainly is more advantageous from the findings you've provided, Enderverse. In addition to those features, Leywind's third-person camera can freely rotate 360 degrees around the player, no longer bounded by the player's current orientation. This even accommodates those equipping a ranged or throwable item, allowing for an easier and improved third-person perspective, at least for those who are more apt at throwable weapons than the likes of myself. Leywind's third person can be toggled at the press of a button, so it still keeps options open for vanilla perspectives. Because of its more flexible perspective, I can only assume that this may be considered as an unfair advantage to more competitive scenarios, but these findings are not conclusive on my end. At the end of the day, mods are all experimental in some fashion. It'll be up to the player themselves and the servers they play on to determine if these will be usable for such environments. If in doubt, always ask. Thank you, Enderverse, for contributing your findings about some of Minecraft's small mods. Should any of you wish to browse more Minecraft mods for yourself, Enderverse has got a vast library of mod videos for you to check out.
The honor is mine to contribute. Some of these mods I'll probably keep for future reviews, especially ones like Lexicon. I've also had lots of fun showcasing mods with Creatures. He's got a very good vision for modding in general, and apart from being another YouTuber, he's a very good friend of mine.
Thank you once again, Enderverse. Research for all small mods completed and archived for future study. End of log.